You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, LuchaCentral.com presents Straight Out of the Bodega with King Fat Boy Papo Esco.
From the wrestling world to the podcast world, it's Straight Out of the Bodega with your host,
the King Fat Boy Papo Esco.
Man, it's Thursday, September 10th, 2020, and you have arrived. Pulled up. Welcome to another edition of Straight Out of the Bodega. I am your master of ceremonies, the bully from the bodega, the lucha thug, the one-man lucha gang, El Rey Gordo himself, the King Fat Boy Papo Esco. And as always, man, we finna take you on this ride. A ride through the blocks, back alleys, and street corners of the bodega. We're gonna give you everything you need that's pro wrestling and entertainment. I'm ready. Look, I hope you're ready. So take a seat, pour up your favorite drink, and let's ride. What is going on, everybody? If you're listening to this, if you're hearing my voice right now, welcome to another edition of Straight Out of the Bodega. I am your master of ceremonies, the King Fat Boy Papo Esco. And from last Thursday to this Thursday, I hope you're living your best life. I hope you had a great week. I hope everything is going right for you. And even if it didn't go right for you at some point, I hope you're back on track, and I hope you're still in a positive state. Me, I am. I'm in a very positive mood. I'm happy. You have your trials and your tribulations throughout the week and your ups and downs throughout several weeks, but you always find a way to get right back to what we need to do and be, and that's just positive and happy, man. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm happy, even though it's Groundhog Day every day, man. Every day it's the same. Just thinking about what I've been dealing with every single day for the past week. Let's see, pandemic, California fires, the presidency and all the corruption and bad stuff that surrounded politics, the upcoming vote. It's all an everyday conversation, and that's why to me it feels like Groundhog Day. But I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to get right into the meat and potatoes of what we do. I want to get right to the show. So we're going to get right into that, because one of the things I like about what we do here at Straight Out of the Bodega is the interviews. I like the interviews that we provide to you week after week, whether it is a name that you recognize or a name that you don't recognize. At the end of it all, we hope the conversations that we have will make you a bigger fan of the people that you know about, and will make you check out and get to know the people that you don't. And this week is no different. Pulling up to the podcast is Southern California resident, independent pro wrestler who's been ripping and running throughout the West Coast, working for places like Pro Wrestling Revolution, working for places like Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and the list goes on and on. I'm talking about my guy, Rico Dinamita. He's going to pull up to the podcast for a great discussion. I cannot wait for you to hear it. But before we go there, we need to take you to the golden voice, the first lady of the Lucha Central Podcast Network. I'm talking about Denise Salcedo and Lucha Central.
Hey everyone, it's Denise Salcedo here in Lucha Central with a reminder of where and when to catch all of the great network content this week. Get the full lineup and listen to all of our shows in the podcast network section of luchacentral.com. On Tuesdays, Mass Mats and Mayhem takes you inside the world of Lucha Underground as they take you weekly through the series with the benefit of hindsight and the benefit of special guests from the groundbreaking series. Check out the premiere video stream every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Lucha Central YouTube channel and at luchacentral.com. Then listen to it on your favorite podcast platform every Wednesday. Tuesday nights live, it's Wrestle Boss, where Fabi Chulo talks MMA and pro wrestling with special guests and listener call-ins. Visit WrestleBossLive.com Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific to listen live or call in with questions or download the show on podcast platforms on Wednesdays. Wednesday nights live on Facebook, it's Spanish show La Mesa de los Márgaros, giving you both the news and the chisme from around the lucha world. Special guests and a whole lot of fun make it one of the most talked about shows in Mexico. Thursdays, it's Straight Out of the Bodega with Papo Esco and PWR promoter Gabriel Ramirez, as they have guests from throughout the wrestling world pull up to give an inside look into their careers. From indie standouts to television superstars, each week brings a new name and perspective. On Friday, it's your double dose of Lucha Central Weekly podcast, one in English y el otro en español. Lucha Central Weekly is where you'll find all the top stories of the week, both inside and out of the ring from Mexico and anywhere luchadores are in action across the globe. Be sure to subscribe and follow all your favorite Lucha Central Network series on your favorite podcast platforms, either by their own series name or subscribe to the Lucha Central Podcast Network show pages to get all of the shows in one easy feed. And please consider giving a rating to help more fans find the shows that you love. For now, this is Denise Salcedo signing off from Lucha Central Central. Have a great week.
And once again, it's interview time. Welcome back to another edition of Straight Out of the Bodega. I am your master of ceremonies, the King, Fat Boy, Papo Esco. And before we get into our guest, I always got to do this because I feel it's a good time. I have fun doing it. I want to introduce my co-host, owner and operator of Pro Wrestling Revolution, owner and operator of Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy, owner and operator of the face covers that are sweeping the nation, www.lucha-mask.com. I'm talking about my guy, Gabe Ramirez. What's going on, man?
Papo, what's up, brother? How are you? How you keeping it cool in this 106-degree weather, man? What's
Dude,
up? What's up?
I don't like it. I don't like it, and I'm tropical. I'm Puerto Rican, man. I'm supposed to like the hot weather, but I would rather. I'm a polar bear, man.
Dude,
I'd rather be in the cold.
This is Fresno, Sacramento weather. Keep that shit up.
It
there,
really
man.
is. It really is.
Give me my 85 and I'm good. And I'll throw up the AC to 60, but 106, dude. I feel like listening to KMEL, man. What's up, dude? Turn that stuff down.
I hear you. Remember, it's like Hot 97.7's making a comeback.
Yeah, that's still too hot, bro. I want to go like to the college stations, like 81.1 or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, as always, Gabe, and I know you like to hear this, we got a great show for you today.
It's dope. But, well, I tell you what, man. If you have another SoCal guy on here with no energy, no phone minutes, we're going to have to just put a area code block anything out of, like, San Jose, bro, because these guests you have are just, you know. You have your ups and your downs. You know, we're taking them on a roller coaster. You know, sometimes you have peaks and valleys. Okay, all right.
You know, hopefully this one's going to be a peak. So today on the show we have a Southern California professional wrestler / luchador. Excuse me, I'm fumbling over my words. He's been ripping and running throughout the area for a long time, man. I feel like he's one of the bright spots in our area, and I hope that a lot more people all around the world get to see him before he's done. I'm talking about my boy, my guy, Rico Dinamita. What's going on, brother?
What's up, guys?
Oh, man. Nothing much.
Hey, you guys are right. It is hot up in here. And you know what? I got my 1.5-year-old in the house, so I had to come in the garage and sit here in this way to do the interview, but it's all good. I'm already sweating.
But before we get started, man, we're going to go ahead and ask you to take the mic out of your mouth so we can so we can hear you a little bit better, brother, because you're a little too excited. But no, man, I'm stoked. You got the guy that Southern California shares the car with. Because if Rico's not booked on that show, they can't make it. So at least you got the guy who is responsible for getting talent from Southern California up to NoCal.
Oh, I like it. So how
my fault that they don't drive or they don't have a car
or a license.
Hey, you gotta. You're in the business. You gotta at least have a license. You gotta at least, man. You know how the first 2 years I used to rent a car to go up there. I had a car, but my car was kind of old. But I had to rent a car and still made it happen.
Dude, I tell you
Still
what,
making
though,
wrestling.
Papa, before we even get going, I got to tell you this story because it's so true. Rico used to bring all the boys, right? And there happened to be one show that Rico just could not make. He had an issue with scheduling and so on. So, yeah, bro, don't worry about it, bro. We'll make it work. And all of a sudden, I get phone calls like the night before. Hey, brother, I didn't know Rico wasn't booked. I don't know how we're going to get up there. And it was like half the roster. And I called Rico, and I was like, bro, like, what the hell? And he's like, oh, man. So Rico, even though Rico did not make the show, he still had to do everything for every individual on that show just to get there.
That is crazy. Hey, you know what? I'll tell you what.
You want to know what I did, though?
What's up? What'd you do?
They had to borrow my car.
Oh, hell no.
They had to borrow my car. I kid you not. I had one of them drop me off at work.
Golly, bro.
No. I lie. I didn't work Saturdays. I was working on Sunday that day.
Right.
So I had them pick me up in the morning the next day at work.
Yeah.
From my house.
On the way back from the show.
Yeah, because I was like, whatever. I don't borrow my car.
I'll tell you what, man. It trips me out when I hear things like that because I mean, look, I know a lot of guys that listen to this will probably think I'm attacking them or something like that, but I really don't give a shit, man. Honestly, dude, it's when you don't have a vehicle like to get to these shows, it's not you trying to fucking work and work somebody just to get in their car. You just are not on your grown man shit. Get you a fucking car. Get you a car and you can get around.
Hey, you know? on that same show.
That's crazy.
On this same show, I'm not even going to tell you the wrestler's name, Jose. And he he shows up in his car because he didn't want to drive with nobody else, so he shows up by himself, Jose. And he gives us a receipt for his car, right? It was like $500 in gas. And we're like, what the hell? 500? What are you talking about? He's, I have a special vehicle with special gas requirements. And I was like, oh, bro, I'm going to match you what I match everybody else's gas from that area. Here's $60, bro. Man, he wasn't happy, Jose. You know what I mean? So it was good times.
I talk to him all the time, Jose. He's cool.
Shout out to Jose.
He's in his own thing, but he's cool guy. But yeah, man, that's I never understood how guys. I mean, I understand if you don't have a car, but like mine was last minute where I don't remember what happened that I couldn't make it. I think I hurt my shoulder or something. Honestly, I can't remember. But yeah, I feel like you need a car. It's far, especially if you're trying to get booked 400 miles away. Like
exactly. You know, you can't always Uber to everything.
Especially people try. I'll tell you that right now. People try. Well, Rico,
hey man, Uber back then.
That's true.
Rico, man, I'm glad you're on the show, man. You bring a lot of wealth and a lot of knowledge to our area and the world of professional wrestling in general. I can't wait to get into everything, man. I wanted to get started, because I feel like on this show, and the reason why I use this formula all the time is like this is a show where you get to come on, you get to get yourself over, man. You get to tell your story and really get people interested in going on YouTube or actually tuning into something that you're doing and going to check you out as a worker. So I wanted to get started with how you got started in professional wrestling. What was it, lucha that you started out as? Was it a American style professional wrestling? Where did you start training? And what really what was that process like?
I started in pro wrestling.
Okay.
I do. My earliest memory of watching wrestling though was lucha libre though. My dad used to watch AAA and like early AAA. Like I watched lucha before I watched like WWE. I watched like El Dandy. I like the beginnings of like AAA was like Octagon, Fuerza Guerrera, people like that. Emilio Chavez.
Yeah, that's the AAA boom, right? That's the first initial start.
Yeah, Conan, like the beginning of Perro Aguayo. Yeah. Like those feuds, like Eddie and Love Machine against Santo,
Octagon, yeah.
And Octagon, yeah. That's from that era. Then I started watching WWE, and maybe around the same time. But anyway, yeah, I went to XPW, man. Very,
XPW.
yeah, I went to XPW Asylum in LA. Very popular at the time, maybe not so popular with other feds, but yeah, that's where I went. XPW, run by Rob Black, the king of extreme porno as well. Extreme Pro Wrestling, and you own another company called Extreme Associates, which was a porno
totally forgot
company.
that
Might as well throw it out there, you know?
So XPW actually had a training facility. I forgot. Now it comes back to me because at one point in time, when I was in APW, Donovan Morgan was the head trainer at the XPW Asylum for about a week.
I was going to ask.
He was there for a week, and then they didn't get along, and he came right back. So I remember we had a big farewell for Donovan, and you're going to be missed, and then he was back a week later.
He was like, fuck that, I'm coming back. Forget that.
He didn't like it.
What year was that, you know?
It was the very initial beginnings of the Asylum.
I started training in 2001, literally right after high school.
That's right.
In the summer of 2001.
It was right before the King of Indies 2001, so I think it might have been in 2000.
So who were your trainers?
I was trained by rest in peace, Mr. 80s Dynamite D, Darren, yes. And then I was trained by Chaos and by the Hardcore Homo Angel. He goes by he wrestles for Room now. He's one of the Dirty Sanchez. He's one of the best minds I've ever worked with. Because he used to run LCW. Like I just feel like he's one of the greater storyline guys. And he's
Angel.
Yes, and a promo guy.
I've heard that before many times. I've never had the opportunity to work with him, but that's not the first time I hear that.
I honestly feel like he brought out a lot of shit in me that I didn't know. Like just promo wise, just to see shit different. Because I was kind of especially when I was in my late 20s, 2010, 2011. You know, when I really wanted to fucking make it to WWE and I was all sauced up, no bullshit steroids, whatever, you know. I was like, fuck, I need to get this shit done.
Just like Papo. Just like Papo.
Just like me. Yeah, I'm all sauced up, man. Hot sauce, ranch,
sauce.
You know what I'm saying? Chipotle.
I was very no, this story has to be like this. We got to do this. We got to do this. And he would slow everything down for me, because we would run on the monthly, so it's we're going to get here, we're going to get here, we're going to get here, then we're going to get there, but it's going to be a process, and I think it was great because it made every character there better, in my opinion, because it was an ongoing story.
So I remember XPW. I used to be a big fan of XPW. Rest in peace, Supreme, and Homeless Jimmy was my guy back in the day. So, what was...
I don't know, man. I was an ECW guy. Fuck that.
I was an ECW guy too. I was just a wrestling nerd, bro. I watched anything and everything I could get my hands on. You know how hard it was to get wrestling back in those days. You know, you had to try to look for tapes and all kinds of crap like that. So, dude, I tried to get my hands on everything. When I got my hands on XPW, man, it was pretty dope. So I liked it a lot.
XPW was starting out, and then you also had a UPW. Did you choose XPW over UPW back then for any particular reason? Because there wasn't that many schools, and we always have the same conversation when it comes to Southern California. There's never really been, established schools. Obviously, that's changed up in the present, up until this COVID. But there really hasn't been schools. You might find some that come across the flea market with Martin Marin. But, you got UPW that had a huge developmental per se to go in with WWE. And then you had XPW that was brand new. What brought you there over anybody else?
Honestly, I watched UPW, I don't know, I might have seen something online, but I didn't know any of the wrestlers there. I didn't know, it just looked really cheap. I don't know. I don't know, it's just difference of what is it, lighting and just the production, I guess. But in all seriousness, I would go watch XPW shows when I was in high school, and I really, really, really enjoyed watching Hoovy and Joey Chaos and Dynamite D and the pure wrestlers. I enjoyed death matches to a certain extent, but I didn't want everyone to have death matches. But I was more of a wrestler, so I just really, really just enjoyed watching Angel, Chaos, Dynamite D. I used to like when Shane Douglas used to come and do the shows, guys like that. So it was just kind of I guess it was a it thing for LA, if you ask me. But overall, honestly, would have gone anywhere.
But you went to XPW, and let me ask you this. For me, when I started training, it was Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy, right? So when I was going through the motions, I knew, according to Gabe and just my own thought process, just having common sense. All right, well, Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy, I have to debut for Pro Wrestling Revolution, right? I can't go anywhere else. It's Pro Wrestling Revolution, and that's it. And then once Gabe puts his stamp on me, I can go elsewhere. But was that the same for you? Did you start with XPW training and then with the intention of debuting at XPW?
Well, I could have it closed down before we even I finished. I trained for over a year and 3-4 months, even more than that, I believe. But they closed shop before we would have ever debuted it. But I had already wrestled. They didn't want us to wrestle anywhere else, to be honest. But we weren't gonna debut there. It was gonna be very rare and very hard for some of us to debut there, because look at the guys that they had in reality in that time, in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, right? They had guys like I said, all like Hoovy. They would bring who else did I say? Vic Grimes, Terry Funk. Do you think they're gonna have some student just debut like that? One of those guys, maybe in a student match.
You hope so, because that's the whole idea of what you have a school for.
So that's what they would tell us.
Yeah, but see, any school that does that and doesn't display their talent out is just taking your money for a ride. All that we're doing is having you do ring crew and do all the grunt work and not want to follow through with anything else. And I'm not just saying for Ace, that's for anyone that has a school, quote unquote, academy, a respectful one to start off with, and they don't have the talent. So if you guys went there training, you went there to train with the hope that you're eventually going to wrestle for XP.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that definitely sucks. I mean, if it's shut down, it's shut down, but that should be for anyone that started out to be a wrestler. If you're going to go somewhere that has a school and they have great shows, that's why they're going there, because they eventually want to be on those shows.
Yes, that is facts.
Yeah, in my mind, when it's been there for a while, and I was like, well, fuck, who could I even ever wrestle? It'd be some sort of battle royal or something, whatever, just to start off. Right. I want to say that me personally, I felt that I was good enough that I probably would have gotten something going. Maybe not something big right off the bat or even ever, but get my foot in the door through there, because and there wasn't, honestly, a lot of guys fucking suck, man. That went and go training there. I'm gonna be quite honest. I'm not even gonna do a lot of guys that went there that were horrible.
Like who?
Just a lot of guys. Let me see. Guys that just never made it. Let me see.
What about the ones that made it that still suck? What do you think?
Well, I wouldn't say they suck, but it was just, I felt for the way that how can I explain? How can I put it into words? I feel like the way that the company was, right, that looked really big.
Yeah.
I would feel like their students would be better, and it had nothing to do. It just had to do with the person. Let me tell you a story. All right. So one time we were at training, right, with Mr. California.
Oh my God.
So Dynamite D, we were working the knee, right, working the left knee,
and it was nothing. And stabbed the knee over and over.
It was nothing.
Ate the knee.
There was nothing out of the ordinary. He just wanted us to sell the knee, walk like you're limping, you're selling your knee, and he was fucking selling the opposite knee. He was selling the right knee, right? He was selling the right knee. He's like, you're selling the wrong knee. You're selling the wrong knee. And he kept doing it until he grabbed him. He put him down in some sort of leg lock, and he pulled his knee pad down for his left knee, and he started punching his knee. Started punching it. And he's like, you're not even old enough to be a mister, so you got to learn how to sell the right knee. And I just, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, especially since you're working the left knee and...
To me, it was he pulled his knee pad down. He pulled his knee pad down and punched his left knee. And he's like, "You're not even old enough to be a mister."
That guy is responsible for to what happened to that poor kid. That's why he started doing hardcore wrestling, because he didn't know how to wrestle, so he went to do that. So he's responsible for that garbage.
No. Morgan already always wanted to be a deathmatch guy.
Ugh.
So, hey, Rico, when did you actually debut? When was your first match, and who was it against? And before you answer that, I know, like, first matches, bro, like,
they suck.
The suckiest fucking match you can ever have.
Papa, like, it wasn't that bad. Come on.
Well, no, mine was humbling. I'll tell you what, Rico, mine was humbling because I'll tell you what, Gabe would tell me like little things like, man, you're natural, man. You got it, man. And I know that for me, my head wasn't getting big because I'm not like that, right? But I know for him, his way of thinking, now that I know him the way I know him now, he probably thought that I was going to get a big head or I was going to start thinking.
Yeah.
So I knew he was going to humble me fast. And what'd he do? You're losing to the smallest guy. You're gonna wrestle the smallest dude, and you're gonna lose. And you're not just gonna lose like by disqualification or nothing. He's gonna give you his finish, and you're gonna get a 1, 2, 3, and that's gonna be it. So, I appreciate that because I know now that was a humbling. That was a humble moment. Just to say, hey, motherfucker. You no matter how big you get or you think you get, someone is always going to be there to bring you down a couple notches. And for me, that aside, fuck, dude, first matches are always that humbling experience because when you go back and you fucking watch it, you get embarrassed almost because of how sucky it was. Was that was your first match the case? And who was it against?
Hey, let me ask you this though: did you debut at one of the big shows or like a flea market show?
No, sir. He debuted at our first pay-per-view event.
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah,
I did.
Well, I remember I would hear about Papo before he debuted. Jose would tell me all the time, like, "Oh, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good," and I'd be like, "Well, who is he?" I think I saw a picture of him. I was like, "Him?"
Because I used to promote Papo doing promos and at the academy because I knew that he was something different. And I actually told Papo, and I've said this before, if Papo would have came to me training 10 years ago, I think he would have been a throwback and would have made money because it's very rare to get a guy that size with microphone skills, not in the era where everyone talks about the steroid era and that being over. Bullshit. If you look at it now, it's still a steroid era. You know what I mean?
They're always going to be.
They're always going to be a steroid era, but Papo is a complete throwback to a Bam Bam, to a one-man gang, but the thing that Papo has over a lot of those guys, he could talk and he had that feel, and and I thought it was awesome. So I was promoting him as watch out for this kid. Yeah, but he debuted on the pay-per-view. They were the opening match, him versus Simon Cross, another student that had the ability, but just life-wise, it wasn't something he wanted to do as much as other things. But he did well, and you're right, because for the most part, I do start off my kids like a festival or a really small show just to get their feet wet, But I felt that these two, they had the age, they were age appropriate to understand common sense, and they had a fun match. Match.
Pretty cool.
So Rico,
nerve-wracking.
Who'd you work?
Oh, well, let me tell you. Going back to Mr. I Saw the Wrong Knee. That's why I worked. My first match ever. Like, I don't like to claim that to be my first match.
Was it a scaffold match on fire?
No. It was Little Cholo booked us at the Anaheim Marketplace in 2001, right? And we were still in XPW, so we had to do it super low key because we'd get in trouble if we wrestled anywhere else. Especially because we were only I was probably 8 months into my training, but I was I was able to do a match, obviously not like in the level of a pro, all perfect, but I was able to anyway. So we got there, didn't get paid, obviously, whatever. It wasn't a big deal. I could care less. It was a good amount of people. It was probably like 100 people, to be honest.
Wait. So 100 people is a good amount of people?
I mean, for that era, for that company, yes.
Yeah, bro. I was spoiled.
Come on, Gabe, bro. You're up in a place where thousands of people. That's why I feel like a superstar over there. What do you think I like going over there?
And that's what was so nerve-wracking about it is because like my debut match, dude. I already knew what independent wrestling was, so like I expected 20, 30, people, 50 people, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking what was it, like 900, 1,000 people?
Yeah, it was
Some shit like
O'Connell,
that
so
the
you
first
had
time, dude?
Yeah, it was O'Connell, so it was sold out, and
Nuts.
it was a good crowd, man.
Fuck, well, the first time I went up to Gabe's, it was in Watsonville.
Yeah.
And seriously, I was with Famous B, and the whole time I was like, fuck, bro, what did Kevin get us on? Like, because Kevin had taken us, we had done other stuff with Clown Rock, like in Vegas and whatever, but I've never really wrestled in NorCal before that, ever. Maybe like in Fresno, but I just can't remember.
Right.
And this was in 2000. And that's not even NorCal, it's like...
That's NorCal.
And, yeah, right? And it was like in 2010 in the summer, so we were getting to the Watsonville Fairgrounds, and I was like, fuck, if they plant shit out here, like, there's no people here. Like, I was like, there's going to be no people here. It's worse than L.A. Fuck, dude. And then we go out, and I was like, what the fuck?
So that's interesting. Kevin Kleinrock was the one that brought you over to...
Yeah, Kevin had a... in his early startings on his side, because Master Republic has like two different areas. Like you have Ruben with the events and so on, and then Kevin does like developmental talent, and he would bring people together. So Revolution and Santino Brothers were under his wing, and so he hit me up and he goes, "Hey man, you have any interest in some talent?" And I was like, "Not really." I said, "I'm pretty comfortable." I said, "What do you got?" And he showed me pictures, and off the bat, like Rico had the look I was looking for. And I said, "What's his name?" He's Rico. What was it? They called him Rico Dynamite. I said, "Well, fuck that. I'm calling him El Dinamita. He's in." And they showed me Famous B, and Famous B was much thinner back then. He had a different look, and I was like, "Oh, dude, this guy's talented." He had a drop kick, was, next to Adam Thornstone, man. He was one of the best drop kicks that I saw in our area, and. So let's bring him on, and holy shit, I tell you what, like, it was only a trial to see what happens, and they were humble, talented, hungry, you know what I mean? And I didn't know Rico was renting a car anyways. It was like months and months and months later, he told me, "Hey, brother, man, I rented a car, and like, this is how much it cost." And so we paid him for his car rental and his gas, and his eyes were like, "Huh, what? You're paying for the gas and the car rental?" I was like, "Yeah, well, you brought people with you, right? Is that cool? Or do you need more?" I'm like, "I think what you have is fair." He's like, No. This is good. And, and it just developed. Rico turned into Dinamita and eventually tagged with Cafu and was one of my tag champions. And I'll tell you what, though, true story, before the movie came out or anything, I wanted to turn Famous B into Black Panther. And we had, we actually had a gimmick drawn up and stuff for him before the movie came out, and it was going to be based off, obviously, the comic book, and we were going to call him something, just not Black Panther. And remember, we had a show at the fairgrounds. We had like 3,000 people, an outdoor show for the fair. It was just super packed. And I told her in front of the locker room, I said, "Damn, B," I was like, "you're making it hard for me to change you." Like, he was such a great heel. It was impossible for me to put a hood on him.
I actually remember that, dude. I remember you telling. I was right there. You're like, "You're making it really hard for me to want to change your gimmick."
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how you said it, but something that
it was incredible. We had a packed house, and the fair was like, these fairs had like shows pop up where we had to finish exactly on the minute, and we killed it, and it was just great. And then just B had this persona, an aura about him being a heel. And I told him from the locker room, I said, "Man, great crowd, blah, blah, blah. But, man, these kids are killing it, man." And I buried my kids in my academy and told them, "You're letting people from other schools come in and taking your spots." And Rico has a spot. And then eventually he brought in Ray Rosas. And then Ray Rosas came on board. And that was, I think that was it of the three. Because the rest, Willie Mack and stuff came from Dave Marquez and so on. But that was pretty much the three that Clan Rock was, definitely pushing for me to use.
Yeah, I think when you guys first started out there, I hit you up on MySpace.
I said no.
I mean, I don't. No. I didn't get a reply, to be quite honest.
That's your answer.
So
No.
Flyers,
yeah.
I mean, obviously that's no. I saw a flyer.
Yeah.
And I think it was like Rey Mysterio, A-Heel Rey Mysterio. It just was a really good looking flyer, and I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "Fuck! I can get on that. I can try to get on that." I can bass, I can do all kinds of shit. And I was like, maybe like 2007. and I looked pretty good. And I remember I was like, hey, you know, whatever you sent, you know, I'm ready to come work, help out, do whatever it is. And then I got no reply, which is whatever, you know. I wasn't expecting a reply, but you know, you gotta try,
right?
So fuck it, you gotta try. I got in years later through Kevin, but you know, I was able to get in. And Kevin, you know, Kevin has done a lot for me. I've known him since XPW. He did a lot of work for XPW. God bless his hard work over there.
He was on the podcast I think second and third episode, I believe, and we talked extensively about XPW and his time there. Hey, I want to get into Pro Wrestling Revolution, and I think you teaming with Kafu is definitely of interest, and I think there's a lot of good stories there, especially being tag team champ. I mean, Gabe, I find it very hard to believe that Gabe would actually put his titles on anyone unless they felt they were very deserving of it. So I want to get into that. Before we do, though, you mentioned Kevin Kleinrock, and Gabe mentioned how at the time Santino Brothers and Pro Wrestling Revolution were under his umbrella. I want to get into Santino Brothers for a quick second. Did you start training there as well, or was that... I've never understood Santino Brothers in terms of the difference between training academy and actual shows, because I don't know them to put on shows. Were you? What was the dynamic there?
All right, here we go. I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible.
All right.
So when I bought my house in the city of Norwalk in 2007, me and my roommate, he used to run a indie show here in LA called Hybrid Pro Wrestling.
Oh, that was your roommate?
Huh?
That was your roommate?
Hybrid Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's my friend from high school. We went to wrestling school together. His name is Johnny Suarez.
Yeah.
So he had a ring before we even bought the house. He's been running shows. And we bought the house, and we put the ring in our backyard. We didn't really use it. I mean, I would go in there and roll, but I mean, I wouldn't officially train. But so then at one of our hybrid shows, some guys asked us, oh, you know where we can train? So we're like, oh, we have a ring. So I had 4 or 5 guys that started training in 2007, late 2007, at my house. And then I got to a point where, I was able to train guys, but I wasn't a trainer. I consider myself a trainer now, but back then it was
the rest of
do anything, but I can't psychologically prepare you. Does that make sense?
That's like the rest of the schools. 99% of the schools out in the world right now, they really can train you, but they don't really have a trainer.
Yeah, but me knowing that I wasn't gonna be fuck, just go out there and wrestle.
Right.
No, I called Chaos because he helped train me at XPW, and him and his partner Mongo were the Santino Brothers tag team.
Right.
So I brought them two, and they brought an Angel, Parker Homo Angel, and then they came and trained for a couple of weeks with the guys. I pretty much told them, hey guys, I can train them, but I can't train them. I want you guys to help me mold them. I mean, I don't know what to do, psychologically doing things. So we had a meeting, and they told us they wanted to turn it into school, and we turned it into school in my backyard.
Now, remember Santino advertising a long time that they had a school, and they had a blue tarp over the area. Was that your house in the backyard?
Yeah, that was my house.
I got it. Okay, very well. Oh, wow.
So it started there. We were there for 2 years, and in 2010 they moved it to a building.
Because your neighbors got pissed, right, and said, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Right after all these years. Yeah. No, the fucking city came and they saw the structure. So, they call it a structure.
Your neighbors.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that's how it started. That's how the Santino Brothers school started. It was mostly a school, and then we ran a couple of shows. But it's really hard out in LA. I'm gonna feel like they got dealt a bad hand recently, because I did a show for them in January, my first show back. Well, last summer they were having more people show, because they're a really big school now out here and really popular. So the last time I was there, we were at a building and there were almost 500 people. And for LA, for indie, other than PWG or whatever, I think that's a really, really good amount. So I think if we were going to run there in March, but the pandemic happened, and I feel like it slowed their momentum down. They had just picked up with having hundreds of people because we're getting a lot of pre-sale tickets sales. So it took them a long time to get to like a level where they can draw 300-400 people instead of like 150.
Right.
But the screw itself it's been really strong for like 10 years. For sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, it sucks that they had to close their doors because of the pandemic. Because I mean, I feel like, and again, I don't know shit. So like, I don't want to claim like I know, but I felt like they were just getting their stride, because they had just Brody King went to ROH, and then Bateman went to ROH, and then
Atlas went to WWE.
Atlas went to WWE, and so like they were just, I felt like they could have capitalized on that. So it was kind of sucky that they, hopefully they come back and they come back stronger than ever, man. Shout out to Santino brothers. So let's talk about Pro Wrestling Revolution for a little bit. I know you just talked about how you got started. I wanna talk about your time in the tag team with
Kafu.
With Kafu, man. Now for me, I don't fear nobody. But Kafu makes me a little nervous. So
he's a big dude.
Yeah.
How was it teaming with him, and what was it like when? I mean, you got to talk to me about what you felt when Gabe said, "Hey, we're going to put the straps on you," because I mean, I would think that if I was you, I would think, okay, the only reason why I'm in this is because I'm in a tag team with Kafu, but that's not the case. Gabe looks at everything with a fine-tooth comb. I mean, the OCD on this man is crazy. So when he puts something on you, trust me, he believes in you. So go ahead and talk to me about that.
With that, I want to just start off with going a little bit before that, because I had never been a babyface in like so many years. Like ever since I became like raunchy Rico, in like 2008, 2007 or whatever.
Yeah,
I'd been a heel, like just a heel. Did a couple fancy moves, but was it like a 90s heel pretty much. And then when Gabriel wanted me to be a babyface and dance, I was like, what the fuck? I don't even dance in real life. And I was not dance, but like the gimmick that he wanted was like,
he had
not a stripper, but like
he was a Latin explosion, El Dinamita.
So I was like, fuck, I can't even dance. I don't know how to dance. But anyway, I felt so uncomfortable the first time I went out there and I danced. But the fans made it really comfortable.
Yeah.
Because they accepted it. Like, I want to say they accepted the music, the theme song, before they ever accepted me, because I think that just got them into it. But then when they actually kind of saw me, and I was young and, tan and pretty fit, like, they accepted me, and I started getting into the groove of being a babyface. And I was only babyface for Gabe forever, and still pretty much. Oh, no, now my heel.
No.
For that long run.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, Kafu kind of scared me too, because he's kind of quiet. You got to kind of get to know him.
Yeah.
He's a really, really nice guy. Very helpful. I enjoyed my time with him. It was the dynamic was good, because I feel like it was kind of like an old school kind of team. Like, he's a powerhouse, and I'm the smaller guy that could do more stuff, even though I'm not that athletic. Like, I could just make it seem like it was, I guess. And we had like no tag team moves. It was so weird.
It was it was psychology on your guys' end. It was more psychology. Kafu was a ring general. He was fresh off FCW before they became NXT. So he had all the mindset of how to keep it simple, but over. And I learned a lot from Kafu when he came back, and it definitely helped me change bookings and mindset. So when he had Rico with him, definitely I knew he could do something with Rico, guiding him in the ring, because even though Rico was young in ring time, he wasn't young in age. He was smart enough to understand. And Kafu is very passive aggressive. You'd never know when he's being legit or when he's being kind of like just kidding. And then next thing you know, he's fucking in your face, breaking shit. So, he had a way of guiding this guy, and they got over a good tag team. And even got to a point where I chose to have him and Cafu work Blue Demon and Mil Máscaras in a tag match.
Wow.
Oh. And going back to that, I do remember when we won the belts, the tag title.
Yeah.
Because it was a day before I was gonna have a tryout for WWE.
That's why I did it. I wanted to make sure that if you got signed,
right?
you still had my belt.
You were gonna show up on WWE television.
No, like I had no idea. I always thought of, like, I loved going to the matches over there in NorCal for PWR because the fans, it was just so packed, and I felt like, how you say you feel larger than life. I felt like I was not the star of the show, but you're the star of the show when you're out in the ring. So I felt like I got this shit. So and we had a lot of momentum. Like, obviously Cafu, and then it was just a good mix. And when we won the belt, I kid you not, like, I went backstage and I told Ray, and I was like, fuck, that's like the best feeling I've ever had in fucking wrestling in all my years. And I've been wrestling for a while, but like I said, I was just all over the place. Like, I didn't hit my stride till, like, I hit up Joey and Mongo when we started training the guys in my house. Before that, I would just wrestle, and I knew what I was doing, but it was all over the place, Like, I had wrestled at PWR Sports Union in front of a bunch of people a bunch of times for, like, lucha shows over here. But when I would go to PWR show, it was like the most professional shit I've ever worked on, like, in my opinion, for my era, other than him and, like, Fine Rock.
Mine too.
So I felt like, man, I was on a high that night. Like, I felt really, really happy. Who did you
guys go over on?
It had to have been Ollie and
Derek.
Justin, maybe.
Derek
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And those guys, fuck, man, shout out to them.
Shout out to all them guys, man.
To La Migra in my era, which was Ollie and Justin Curley, and went by Derek Sanders. And Brian Cage, too.
I'm going to go into fanboy mode real quick. What was it like being in the ring with Oliver John?
Fuck, man.
It was like love at first sight.
I love wrestling.
It was love. He was kisses, and he smelled like bubble gum. And
because I'll tell you this,
warm and fuzzy.
Gabe knows this. My all-time favorite wrestler of all time, period, is the Enforcer Arn Anderson. But when it comes to an independent level, and I don't even want to say that because I don't see him as an independent. I see him as a megastar that never, that never got the chance. Oliver John is like my second all-time favorite wrestler. So,
man, he would have been fucking great.
Oh, I know it.
In WWE, man. Like, he was just. There's just certain guys that never made it. Not to say could have, should have, or whatever, but if they've given the opportunity, there would have been something. And Oliver John, like, I don't even want to. I'm not even kissing his ass. I just when I think about him in the matches that we had, in tag matches and singles matches, just what he would say, just what he would think, just like. I'll give you an example. One time, me and him had a spot. We ran a spot together, a very simple spot. It was a 6-man, and we were like, and then Cafu and someone else went in before us, and they did the exact same spot. The exact same spot we were going to do. And then I looked at Ollie from across the ring, and he looked at me, and he just kind of winked at me. And I was like, well, fuck. I mean, but we knew we were workers, so we could just change it. But they did the exact same spot to a T. I can't remember what it was. It was very basic, like tackle, drop down, hip toss, leapfrog, drop kick, arm drag, like some basic ass shit that'll get over on how you do it. It was very basic, but he called a whole new spot in the ring. I want to feel that. I felt like I could do that with a younger guy. If that happened, I could go in there and call a new spot. But with Ollie, I would probably be like, oh, fuck, what am I going to do? Just because it's him.
Right.
Yeah. But as soon as we were locked up, he's like, just do what I say. And we just, did our thing, and we audibled to a totally different spot, and it was great. So he's just overall a good guy, a great wrestler, and I'm hoping he's doing good outside of wrestling. which he is.
Well, if you guys are looking to buy a home, please visit Oliver on Facebook, and Oliver would take care of you with any great home in the Sacramento area. Tell him that.
That's too far from. If he was in the LA area or Orange County area, it'd be a little bit better.
Right?
No, yeah. Shout out to fucking.
But seriously, I wrestled Ollie. I think one time at one of the fairs, too, and we were at the last match. And we finished like 5 seconds to spare or something like that.
Yes. When they hit the 3 count, the fair guy was standing next to me, and right when they counted 3, he looked at his clock and he goes, "I don't know how you guys do it. We literally finished on the freaking. The hand clicked over to 90 minutes when they hit 3."
Yeah.
And I want to say, like, I feel like we wrestled so much, and we all had, I wouldn't say similar styles, but like the similar mind of how the psychology of the match should be. Like, we could go out there and not call shit and just do everything in the ring. And like, we did that a lot, to be quite honest. And it always kind of worked just because we were all on the same page, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Now, Rico, you said, you came to Revolution, you worked with me, and you had, great experiences with us and, opportunities as tag champion and working with Oliver and higher talents and so on. You did mention you had a tryout with WWE. That tryout, how did that consist of? Did it have to do with footage they seen, or was it, that someone got you the foot in the door? And where did that take you after that? Because obviously, whenever you get a tryout with WWE, people think it's a great thing, but it can be very bad because sometimes people end up going there and going, "Holy shit, I can never do this. I don't have the body. I don't have the patience. I don't have this." And 2 things can happen. It motivates you to kill it and do better, or it motivates you to say, "Fuck it, I'll never be able to do this."
I remember, I think you got me that tryout, right?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, you did.
Jesus, jeez. And so how did it go?
Because I can't remember. We had a couple of... No, it was...
And
you got me in.
So how did it go? I mean, talk to us. I mean, when you got there, how did that change, your overall perspective of yourself? Because you went from a guy going to a training academy, asylum per se, didn't quite work out. You went into your backyard and it kind of blossomed into something cool with Santino. And then you're working with me, and I'm sure you're working elsewhere, but you worked with me at a higher level as far as fans and opportunities and talent. And then you got your tryout. How did that motivate you after you were done? Obviously, you didn't get signed, but where did that take you? Because not every tryout is a tryout to get signed. They just want to see what's out there. They want to see what's out there.
Yeah.
They want to keep their eyes open if you fit into something. So how did that motivate you? Did it deflate you, or did it motivate you?
No, it didn't deflate me at all. It opened my eyes even more because when I went, there was a bunch of us. Like, I would say it was like the better guys from SoCal. I mean, in that era, there was let me see. It was Sean Ricker was there. It was myself.
Hijo de Trump.
It was your boy Jose.
My boy, Jose. We got to get Jose on here, man. But
he'll do good.
Only if Jose and Rico do it together, because I want to see them fight each other over and over, and that'd be great. That's the only reason I wanted to have them on together, because that'd be great.
Then he's afraid of me because he's in love with me.
Who
else was there? Joey Ryan, Scorpio Sky, Brandon Gatson, Ryan Taylor. One of the NorCal guys was there, Jody Christopherson.
Yeah, Jody. I tell you what, though, out of that group you just mentioned, Brandon Gatson, I think he was one of very underrated guy, man. I think
he's so good, dude. I just wrestled him like 30 minutes.
Yeah, before that guy just didn't have the right opportunity to blossom out of EWF, but that guy was good, man. And Jesse did a hell of a job, and why I think he's great and I didn't use him is because, like I tell people all the time, where do I put him? I'm a lucha-based company, and I got Oliver, I got Brian Cage, I got Hijo de Trump. Where do I put him? I'm not going to take off the Border Patrol to put on this kid. You know what I mean? But he is a talent. I don't know if he's still wrestling or not. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, bro.
I hope he is. And if anyone, once this pandemic comes back, maybe it's me. You guys got to book someone like him.
You know what? You should bring him up. I just wrestled him the last... The weekend of...
are you willing to give up your spot so he can take yours?
Yeah, you can take mine. But then I have to give him a ride, so we both need a spot.
Yeah, but since you're going to drive him up, you might as well going to come up with him, right?
We actually did like a 30-minute time limit draw, like the last in February, not that long ago. So he's good, dude. He's like, I feel like he could have been really good if given the opportunity. And too, he thinks he's very psychologically in tune with the matches. He knows what's up, what to sell, how to do it. Maybe not here, maybe there. He knows exactly. He's good. He's really good.
So you're there.
But no, the WWE it made me open my eyes even more. I've been there before in like 2008, a long time ago. Before then, and even that opened my eyes, but I was never able to get back in because I didn't know how to try to go back in over there. Like I had no connections. I didn't even know who to ask, who to talk to.
But once you're there, I mean, if now this is your second time, what exactly were you there just as an extra? Did you get some ring time? Like
we all had ring time, dude. Like
you left,
they hired Jody Christopherson that day.
Yeah.
So we just pretty much said we were there to get looked at, and very Willem Rigo is like, I can't get you hired, but you can ask me anything, and I can lead you in the right direction, who to talk to, blah blah blah. And he's like, but you guys got to show what you can do. Just work. He's like, don't worry about anything, just work. And
I've always heard William Regal does that.
We had matches and.
Who'd you work in your match?
A lot of it. I don't remember. I think Kevin Martinson, one of the.
Oh, okay.
Johnny. Johnny Goodtime.
Yeah.
He would go by back then.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think you could have a bad match with any guys that were there that day. Really, I know Ricker opened my eyes that day too because we were doing like a 10-man tag type thing. We all had individual matches, and then at one point. We all just like tagging anybody,
right?
And like he had someone like in front headlock, or no, they had him like in the front headlock, and someone backed up to me, like wanting to get like a back tag,
Yep.
Can't remember who it was, and I didn't see it, so it took me a while. And he's like, "Fucking tag in," so I tagged in, and then Ricker's like, "Shoot off reverse." Took my fucking head out with a fucking clothes on. He's like, pay the fucking attention.
Attaboy.
And that was good. I honestly didn't think nothing of it. I was like, yes, sir, because I just didn't know how because I don't know how I missed the tag. Like, I don't know. I just looked the other way for a quick second or whatever.
We got to remember though, Ricker was already groomed.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Prior to that, Ricker had a long line of WWE, WWF repertoire as far as training goes, what they were looking for. Why that guy never got a full-fledged opportunity?
I don't know, bro. Politics. That I do believe is politics.
Understand, man. When we had him as Hijo de Trump, I knew it wasn't last forever. I knew it wasn't going to last forever because I knew that guy was going to go somewhere. And when he was working for me in Mexico with Santos Promotion, Todo por el Todo, he actually got signed to WWE while he was in Mexico. And they were celebrating for him. He was well received. They wanted to make him like one of the main focal points in that promotion. Then he got signed. And then when he came back, I was like, dude, what are you doing back? Like, what the hell is it going? Like, I don't know if people maybe take his attitude. Well, and that's the wrong word. He doesn't have an attitude. Maybe just his personality. He's a little dry. He's dry, but he's not disrespectful. He's very respectful, and and sometimes people take that the wrong way. But that guy has the look, the body, the promo skill. He's smart. He has acting skills. I mean, the guy just checks off all the boxes. He just might have checked someone's box the wrong way, I guess.
Right? He seems like he would be the guy that you're looking for because when you say like he's got the look there, he can cut promos. The body, it's like he's got a body that's not that's like I feel like perfect for the business, where it's not overly huge and not small. It's like a 220 something pound guy that's really buff, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's cut, man. He's really cut.
Hey,
not as cut as Papo and I, but he's cut.
No.
Oh yeah.
He's close. Keep working, kid. You'll get to my level. Don't worry.
So you left WWE, with a lot of knowledge behind you. Did that catapult you something new? Like did new opportunities come up? Or what happened?
It definitely did because they called me back. I went back a pretty good amount of times. It wasn't it wasn't meant for me, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, I could have been maybe more persistent. I don't know. Like, but it motivated me to really want to be there. I'm not even gonna lie. Of course, because I watched wrestling since I was a little kid, so all I wanted to do was wrestle. Like, that's all I want. And I always wanted to be a WWE guy. I never wanted to be an independent darling, is that what they call it? Nor I could have been, because my skill is more of a old school. Like, I can do a match with anybody in any way they want to do it. But I don't like to do 20 spots myself. Like, if you want to do a bunch of spots to get to your move, I'll do it to get to your move, but I don't need to do all them spots to get to my move. Does that make sense?
Right. Oh, no, it does.
But that's just me. That's why I can work everybody, I feel.
Yeah.
I got a question. I do have a question. And before I ask this question, I want to say, dude, I think maybe, dude, Rico, you're so, like, I feel like you'd be good for WWE television, even maybe on the NXT level. I just feel like it wasn't the right time, because you look at now, there's so many Latinos doing it now.
I know,
you
bro.
got Hijo del Fantasma, you got Raul Mendoza, Humberto, Angel Garza, and all these guys now are doing it like big on WWE television. It probably wasn't at the time. It was a very different business, wouldn't you say, Gabe? At the time, at that time versus now.
The thing is that the business is always evolving, and you got to learn how to evolve with the business. A perfect example: last night I was watching the AEW pay-per-view, and I saw Christopher Daniels on there. And Christopher Daniels is a perfect example of a person who has evolved with the business every step of the way. Every step of the way, from when he was on the independent scene, he was nonstop working like Shotgun Saturday Night for WWF, working with Taka Michinoku. He was a mainstay in Michinoku. He was Curryman, but then he was doing UPW. He's always been a guy who has evolved and changed with the system. And he went to ROH and then did ROH, and then he was here, then he was there. Now he's one of the main guys doing stuff behind the scenes, and now he's in AEW. He has evolved with the system, and that's what has to happen with wrestlers nowadays. If you weren't available, to be a rapper in the 90s, then you change to the new style that's next and see if that works. And same thing with wrestling. You got to re-involve yourself. You got to reinvent to make it work. And you never know, it may hit. And I'm not saying that's going to be the answer to everyone's opportunity. But yeah, right now, if you're Latino and you can work both lucha and the American side, and you can speak Spanish and English, you're giving yourself a better opportunity to come in and work and help these guys. You got to also understand that there is a level of eating humble pie. It's like, hey, I'm bringing you in to put this kid over. I want you to guide him. I want you to talk to him. I want you to but he's going over. All good. You know what I mean? So sometimes people have to understand that, not being the main event on WrestleMania is bad, because just being on WrestleMania is great. So, you know what I mean? So it just comes down to how you want to have a perspective on situations and making it work. And I still think, Rico, you have an opportunity. Everyone has an opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Everyone should have an opportunity. I haven't really tried, I would say, for a long time to be on there.
There's your answer.
No, yeah, definitely. I haven't. No, yeah. I'll admit it. Like, that's what I said when I went. I think the last time I went was like in 2013. And I had turned 30. Not the age matters.
It's only been 7 years.
Yeah, right. And so I never really. I felt like I tried for all these years, and that was just kind of life got to me too. A little money issues and just a little depression with yourself. Not like I don't want to kill myself, but just kind of you bring yourself down sometimes. And
mental health, man. No, absolutely.
Sometimes things just don't go your way, and just other shit kind of gets messed up. So it is what it is. So I feel like, and it took me a long time to bounce back up financially in my own personal life. So I felt like that played a big part into it.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I just couldn't. Sometimes you want to do shit, but
you got to be a father first, bro.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You have to be family a father first, and that's the thing that people don't understand about the independent scene. Is like, oh, what happened to that guy? I don't know. He had a child, and he had 2 kids, and and he had to take care of that first. And sometimes, I've always been saying this forever, since I can remember. Sometimes life gets in the way of wrestling, and it's things that we can't control. And you did a good job. to make a very happy girl, which, by the way, did not say one word to me when I last saw her. You know what I mean? Like, she wouldn't.
Man, you know what? She don't like to. She doesn't talk. She don't even talk to me.
She wouldn't share her hot Cheetos with me. And I was like, "Hey, you gonna share those?" They just shook her head.
She doesn't talk to nobody, dude. She just sits there with her little headphones on. And I'm like, what are you even listening to?
You know, but Rico was with me for a minute, and then the part that we haven't spoken about is how.
And this is
my question.
How
Rico was later removed.
This was my.
And you know what? That was around the time where a lot of stuff was going not too good for me, to be quite honest. Well, you remember, because I was like, hell yeah, I'll do that gig.
Yeah, this was my question, guys. This is what I was trying to get to. You know, you had your run with Cafu, tag team champions, and, you know, everything seemed to be going well. When I came, you weren't there. And, you know, at some point, I mean, there's a reason for that, right? At some point, you start to wonder, okay, you know, this guy's coming back. Why did you leave to begin with? So talk about that. What was the situation behind, you know, you not doing business with Revolution?
He stole from me. Just get it out of the way. He stole from me.
I stole his heart.
Now let's take a pause for the cause for a spell, because part 1 of the Rico Dinamita interview was in the books. Man, we had a great time. A lot of good conversation, a lot of great stories and experiences. We hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next week where Rico Dinamita comes back. He pulls back up to the podcast for part 2 of the interview, where we finish the discussion and have more of an overall good time. I cannot wait for y'all to hear that. Well, that's all the time we got for this week. We'd like to thank you for listening, and we know you're listening from somewhere. So get on social media and let us know what podcast platform you're using to listen to every single episode of Straight Out of the Bodega. Is it Spreaker? Is it Spotify? Is it Apple Podcast, iTunes? Is it iHeartRadio? Is it a podcast platform we ain't even mentioned yet? Let us know. Get on social media. We're curious to hear from you. Also, let us know how we're doing. We don't do this for us. We do this for you. We want to make sure we're giving you the best possible podcast experience that you can get. And we're not going to know if we are or not unless you let us know. So let us know how we're doing. Are we doing good? Are we doing bad? Who do you want to hear on future episodes? Talk to us. We talk back. We're curious and want to know what you think. Also, check us out on social media. That's Straight Out of the Bodega on Instagram, Straight Out of the Bodega on Facebook, and on Twitter, it's at STR8OUTDABODEGA. Give us a follow. We need followers, you know what I'm saying? Also, check me out on social media. That's Papo Esco on Instagram, Papo Esco on Facebook, Papo_Esco on Twitter. On behalf of the podcast, I am your master of ceremonies, the King Fat Boy Papa Wesco, and we'll see y'all next week, man. We out.
Lucha-masks.com, in partnership with Mask Republic, give you personal protective masks to keep you lucha strong in the fight versus COVID-19. With world-class luchadors Blue Demon Jr., the Lucha Brothers, LA Park, Ultimo Dragon, Cain Velasquez, Conan, and so much more. Head to lucha-masks.com and you too can become a masked warrior. Lucha-masks.com, powered by Pro Wrestling Revolution.